48, thank you.
Have a great day.
Roger.
Romeo, so let's go for it. 73, maintain 170 knots. Yes, contact tower 119.05.
Okay, we'll contact tower 170 to Frontier 573.
And approach 8 Delta Romeo.
8 Delta Romeo, good.
How are we looking to get runway 17?
Localize 1 up Charlie.
17, 8 Delta Romeo, thank you. 54 to 12,000.
Just to 1234, so I can approach, Roger, just going to maintain 1,000.
Down to 1,000, 434. 34.
Delta 1929, calling maintain level 230.
Climb maintain 230 up 929.
At 6,000, 740 Charlie.
.4057, flighting 310, calling maintain level 230.
Heading 310 up to flight level 230, test 4057.
Departure Delta 1725 with you at a 6.4 for 10,000 on the Seagull 1.
Delta 1725, Salt Lake departure at a contact. Wait, sir.
Right turn 080, 740 Charlie.
Beam over Delta 1929.
Delta 1725, calling maintain level 230.
We'll maintain flight level 230 to 1725.
210 knots at 25.7, 1 for Charlie. Good morning. Delta 4057, turn right direct cloud, resume normal speed. For 1234, flighting 330. For 1234, flighting 330.
330 for 1234.
Delta 2375 out of 6 for 10, 295 heading.
Delta 2375, Salt Lake departure at our contact. On the maintain level 230.
230 Delta 2375.
Delta 1929, contact Salt Lake Center 128.55. Get it?
Radar contact, climb and maintain, flight level 230, resume normal speed. 22, contact level 230, normal speed, that is 2221.
Great, Delta Romeo, turn right heading 020, it's going to maintain 6,000.
Right turn 020, down to 6,000, 8 Delta Romeo.
40 Charlie, 5 miles north of Triple, maintain 6,000, for capture most other clear ILS, runway 17 approach.
6,000, so established, clear for the ILS, runway 17, 740 Charlie.
1 Echo Charlie, you're 3 miles from Uduzu, cross Uduzu at 11,000, clear ILS, runway 17 approach. Uduzu at 11,000, clear for the ILS 17, 1 Echo Charlie. You guys followed lower, sir?
170, Delta Romeo.
Okay, so the Charlie, maintain 170, not the circle, contact tower 118.3.
18.3, 170 on the speed to Pitfalls, 740 Charlie.
For 1234, turn right heading 340.
340 for 1234. Yeah, 2236, flight departure, radar contact, climb maintain, flight level 230, resume normal speed.
Climb to 230, resume normal speed already, go 2236, thanks.
Yeah, 2221, so direct Zion's waypoint, resume own navigation.
That's Zion's, that's 2221.
Delta 1148, Salt Lake departure, radar contact. Proceed direct dirt, climb via the SID, resume normal speed.
Direct dirt, climb via the SID, normal speed, Delta 1148.
Delta 3722, contact Salt Lake Center 127.7.
Dallas, 3722, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, see ya. Delta 1234, contact approach 124.9.
1234.
1725, resume normal speed, contact Salt Lake Center 128.55. Get it?
2855 and normal speed, Delta 1725, good day.
7 approach, 8 Delta 1.
Clear the J system, join the localizer for your food system. Well, for It's a 12 to 34. We'll go ahead and go miss prior to the circle and be back with you back to Salt Lake. We'll see what it looks like once we get down there. If we pop out on the missed approach, we can go ahead and cancel. We'll let you know though. Execute the missed on the go for 1234. Charlie Ryder, join I-15 and track it northbound. That's clearance for you shortly.
Delta 1182, 6,000 for 10,000, rolling on 295 heading.
Delta 1182, Salt Lake departure radar contact. I'm going to maintain flight level 230.
I maintain level 230, Delta 1182.
Flight level 230, resume normal speed.
Alright, climb flight level 230 with normal speed, SkyWest 3605.
National 836, subject Cougar waypoint and resume on navigation.
Rapid to Cougar, Delta 2236, thanks. You are 7 miles from Joseph, Southwest at 8,000 and close to the ILS approach for runway 3 yards in this first 12. 18-3, 1 extra, come on.
Departure Sky 4088, 528 for 10,000, the rate 295.
Sky 4088, Salt Lake departure radar contact, traffic 9 o'clock, 8 miles northbound, leveling at 11,000 to company Embraer. We'll have higher for you in about 4 or 5 months.
We'll look for that traffic, Sky 4088.
Sky 4057, contact Salt Lake Center 127.7.
Hey, Das. Gentlemen, how's everyone doing today? Let's fix this. I got a new mouse, more of a gaming mouse, so I'm trying to get used to it. It's weird. Get used to a mouse. So much mouse action, and now I'm trying to get used to this one. Let me get this overlay going. All right, we are at Idaho Falls. First thing I need to do, this takes about 2 minutes to do it. So we'll look at some flight planning while this is changing. All right, so that is 12:34, so by 12:36, and never mind. It's freezing up everything. So I can't change to the browser. So I guess we'll wait till it's done reloading. But basically, we're going to fly from Idaho Falls to Salt Lake City. We're going to do IFR because I want to fly it. Well, two reasons. One, it's snowing here. Late snowing. Visibility is horrible. It's definitely IMC. All right. I think it finished. So this airport's not going to show winter because it's a custom airport. But once we get out of this area, it should start to turn winter, but it comes with all this ortho scenery. All right. I'll come back to that. I need to figure out fuel. So just to show you all, if you use SimBrief just as a generic flight plan, it's going to give you the wrong stuff. So we say we're going to Salt Lake City, flying the King Air. See there? So we're flying a King Air, and it's given me this route, which essentially it's fine. The problem lays with this star, the arrival, the Skeets 5. So we're flying a turboprop. So if you go to the Skis 5, it shows right here, turbojet aircraft only. So sometimes you'll have turbojet, turboprop allowed, but for this star, it's only turbojet. So any jets, airliners, business jets, anything that is a jet can fly this arrival. So I had to find one that doesn't have jets only. So the Bear 5 is exactly the same arrival. So this is RNAV. They're both RNAV, except this one is turbojet because it's got altitudes and speeds or whatever. So this one doesn't have any restrictions. So you can go to like the continuation. So it just shows what to do. So we're gonna do the. I got it on my PIH. The Pocatello transition. PIH. So up here. So we're going to fly down here to Bear. We're probably going to land south. So over the OGD Vortac, where's that at? Oh, Ogden. Over the Ogden VOR. Radial 302 to cross Ogden at or above 11,000. So this is a radial inbound to Ogden that you would fly from Bear, but I'm just going to use the GPS. But you could do slant alpha, for example, and just use a VOR radial. So you don't put in the course 302, you do the opposite of that, because 302 is outbound, so you would want inbound, which is 122 inbound for the course, but you still dial in this frequency if you're going to do slant alpha. And then all these other waypoints, these are radials to check. But anyway, you always know from these dark arrows the direction that you want to go. Not this, but the dark arrows. That's the direction of any arrival. Same thing with this. You have dark arrows. So the dark arrows, these light arrows are just identifying fixes like teals. It's just giving a triangulation basically from multiple fixes and VORs. So from this radial to this radial, they come up with this RNAV GPS coordinate. So you have a GPS coordinate, and it's where two radials intersect. So that's how they built this star, essentially. So that's why we have to file the Bears 5. And we have to start with the Idaho Falls VOR, which is right here in the middle. So the VOR, and this is the VOR circle on the outside, is the VOR. The inside circle is the class Delta airport. So that's the VOR. We need to know this because this airport does not have a SID associated with it. So you could go to Idaho Falls and there's no departures. And obviously it's red. It's red, so it's very cloudy, icy, snowy. So we need to know how we can get out of here without crashing into mountains and stuff like that. So you have to use an ODP. Now I'm going to come back and explain the ODP in a little bit. First, let's get this flight plan in place. And the winds are out of the north. So I'm probably going to do runway 3. Yeah, we'll do a runway 3 ODP. So ODP runway 3, because the ATC is going to want to know which ODP you're using. So that's good for Eric 202, even though I'm using 18 something for the altitude 24,000. November 1399. And we'll do an alternate, whatever that is. So that's fine. So then we'll get our fuel. Bust out my calculator here because I already keep 100 gallons in reserve for, like, I don't worry about this reserve. So trip fuel 322, continuous 145, alternate 248. Let's round that up to 250. Taxi 200. So trip fuel is 917 divided by 6.5 is gallons. So that would be 142 gallons. So 142 times 0.5 is 71. 71 gallons per wing, so that's the fuel. So we'll come back over here, and we'll grab the fuel truck. And we're gonna grab 71 gallons. Alright. Check the field for contaminants and such. Man, this new mouse is killing me. I'm trying to figure. Whoops. This mouse is so accurate. It's a gaming mouse. I've never had a gaming mouse before. It's like precision. Alright, we'll crank that up. We're going to go to 142 total. Alright. Now you can tell that it's snowing. Got some condensation building up. Alright, we'll undo those. I'll set the e-brake. Get the quadrant ready for start. Okay. And we'll check our voltage. I have 28 on external, 22 on battery. Alright, so we're good there. Turn on the battery. Wait for that to stop spinning, and then we'll connect the gen tie. External power is blinking, so we'll go ahead and connect that. So now we're connected to external power. Now we should have, we're going to do a bus test real quick. So bus three gen tie lights and bus lights are on, so we'll reset. Check the volts, should be 28 across the board, which it is. And inverter 1 and 2 on. Lights on. Cabin lights, smoking, seat belts, nav light, tail light. Alright, now we're looking alive. So now we need to check our fuel and emergency fuel cutoff valves. So we'll turn on those pumps and make sure this valve closes, which it does. Do the same thing on the right side. Closed. Turn those pumps back off. So now we'll jump over here. So O2 is fine. So we'll check our warnings. Arm the O2. Give the mask a test. I'm gonna look something up real quick. Control panel. Sound. Want to make sure I disabled the VR speaker, which I did. Otherwise, PilotEdge will sound garbled. All right. So that's fine. Okay. Get this pitch trim, rudder boost, trim works. Battery bus in the up position, engine ice on for ground operations. And before I go any further, I'm going to cover the ODP real quick. All right, so the ODP, so we're going to use runway 3, and like I was saying, there's no SID, and it's IMC, probably can't tell here. So all this is IMC, it's snowing, it's just horrible weather, so you can't see squat. So if you don't have a SID, ATC is going to be like, how are you going to get out of there? Because this is an untowered airport for PilotEdge purposes. In the real world, there's a tower, at least during the day. So what do? You get an ODP. So you right click, you open up Idaho Falls. There's no SID, you go to takeoff minimums. And then you do find IDA and keep going through them until you find Idaho Falls. You just do a search. There it is. So what you need to look for is a departure procedure, not obstacle departure, but departure procedure, because there's no SID. So, but as long as you have a departure procedure, ATC can give you an IFR clearance from an untowered airport. So if we didn't have a departure procedure, and if there was no safe way to take off, then you just wouldn't take off. But this has a departure procedure, so this is all part of IFR type stuff for untowered. So we're going to use runway 3. So all aircraft departing 210 clockwise to 040 climb on course. So that's where the 210 to 040. So that's why you have to have this VOR. So you can see here, this is 210. So 210 to 040. So from here clockwise to 040, which is right here, you can climb on course. So anywhere in here you can basically take off and go and just climb. There's no obstacles to worry about. Out here you got mountains at 10,000, 11,000 feet over here by this lake. So you have to use this ODP. So we're going to use runway 3. So we're not climbing on that course because we're going, our MEA for direction or route, you go to world low, and I'm filing the Victor 21 airway. So the MEA for Victor 21 is 7,000. So before we can climb higher than 7,000, we have to abide by this procedure. All right, so we're going to climb left turn direct to the Idaho Falls VOR DME. Runway 21, same thing applies, except they would depart climbing right turn direct to Idaho Falls. So we're going to do a left turn because we're using runway 3. And then you continue and climb in a holding pattern south of the Idaho Falls VOR with a course heading of 019 or inbound to the VOR and hold. And so you keep circling in that hold until you get to MEA for route of flight. Well, the only MEA that I'm worrying about is the airway of 7,000. So basically, we're going to take off this way, do a left turn, and then back to the VOR, and then you come back out, and it's going to be 019er inbound. So we would circle in a left-hand circle pattern. I think it was left-hand. Yeah, left turn 019 inbound. So 019. So that's right about here. So you come back and it's south. They want you south of the VOR. So you just circle like this until you pass over the VOR at 7,000 feet. Once you're at 7,000 feet, then you cross back over the VOR, continue on. Now I know in the King Air, I won't have to do this holding pattern. As soon as I take off, by the time I come out and do my left turn, by the time I come over the VOR, I'm going to be at 7,000 feet. So then I'll just continue because the MEA is 7,000. Now, if I was going to, say, Jackson Hole over here, then I'd have to wait till I'm about 14,000 feet before I could continue. So it just depends on the direction of flight to how long you have to stay in that pattern, in that hold. So departure procedure is what you need. It's in lieu of a published SID. And that's what I'm going to tell ATC is I'm going to be doing the ODP for runway 3 for departure. And I'm going to put that in the flight plan. So we're going to file. I'm going to do ODP. I think it was runway 3. Bear 5. You have to have Idaho VOR as your first waypoint, no matter what, because it's part of that procedure. So Idaho VOR is part of this departure procedure. Therefore, you have to have it as your first waypoint in the IFR flight plan. We're saying Golf 240. All that looks good. So I'm going to file that flight plan. Now, real quick, for there's this preferred routes for like Boston area. This covers all the tri-state area, the Northeast. So if you want a real quick tech route, this is a real good way to do it. And it will give you a quick reference. I'll put this in here. So if, like when I do VATSIM, I use this a lot to help figure out what routes I want. Like you could do JFK to Boston. And then VATSIM will want you to file one of these things. If you don't, they'll, like if you file something different, they'll probably give you this depending upon what type of airplane you're flying. So that's one method for flight planning. You could use FlightAware. I know a lot of you guys know this stuff. So same thing, let's say I want to do JFK to Boston. You can file, look for an airplane similar to one you want to fly, like an Airbus A321. You come down here, and that's what real world people are filing for these airliners. So that's a quick way to figure it out. Let's try where we're at right now. Idaho Falls to Salt Lake. All these are turbo. Oh, there's a B190, so let's see what So he's doing Roca mild, or whatever that MLD. What's MLD? MLD is a VOR, so you just click go, and we're crossing right over it. It's part of the Bear 5 Malad City. So is that part of the Bear 5? Yeah, so we're going from here, so I guess it could be, you could do it either way. I'll stick with what I filed, but that's another way to do it. You can get flight plans like that. You just look for an airplane. He's not doing the Skis 5 because he's turboprop, whereas you do like this E-Jet, he's probably going to do the Skis 5, or yeah, Skis 5 because he's a turbojet. So it's a difference. You can't use the Skis 5 for what we're doing because it's turbojet only. That's why you do the Bear. Anywho, so hopefully that was helpful. All right, so I've already filed. All right, so now I might as well fill up the passengers. So we'll do full. Get everybody on board, check our lighting. If anybody has any questions about anything I just said, I know that was a lot. Don't be shy. You can ask. I might not know all the answers, but if I don't, I will research it, and the next time I see you, I will have an answer for you. I'm just trying to pass on knowledge that I have gained over the years about this sim. All right. So I think we're all good. Should have 28. We do. Let's remove the steps so we don't blow them away. Beacon light coming on. I don't know why I parked at terminal. I might have done a airliner out of here last time. It just defaulted there. I had to think about that. All right, we're gonna start engine 1. So we're good on gas. All that's set. Ignition 1. 16 NG, we'll add low idle. Looking for hot start and hung start, so we have ITT. We have rotation and the turbines, so no hung start. Oil pressure's in the green. ITT is falling and we're above 50. That's a good start. Ignition comes off. Conditioner lever goes to full. Shut that window. And then we need to disconnect external power. Remove the GPU. Reset Gen 1. No external power, but we have 28 across the board off of Gen 1. And now we'll start engine number 2. All right. 13, 14, 15, 16, low idle. Checking for hot starts, hung starts, got rotation, oil pressure's in the green, they're above 50. Shut that window. Ignition can come off. And we need to reset Gen 2 and reset Gen 1. Lower the conditioner lever to low idle on both. You should have 1050 RPMs or more, so we're good. Check our volts on both. Good on volts. I've already filed a flight plan. Do a bus test, checking for bus lights. Three Gentai lights are on, so that's a good test. So we'll reset the bus test. And we'll jump over here to the FO. And it is freezing cold, so this goes in the up normal position for anything less than 10 Celsius. And we need at least 11 psi per bleed, so that's one. We'll turn it off. We'll check the right one. We got 11 psi. We'll turn on both bleeds. Auto, auto. And we're going to increase the conditioner levers to at least 50%, because when you use the electric heater to warm things up, it's going to take a toll on the electric, so you'll see the lights dim. I'll turn on the electric heat. All the lights dimmed. Now you turn on the blowers, and that will help warm things up in the cabin, which is right here. Gyro suction's good. Pneumatic pressure's in the green, so all that's good. Check our inverter switches. Check for the right one. We have a bus light. Reset. Check the left. Got a bus light. Reset. EFIS switch is coming on. Master avionics coming on. Radio, radio. Check the autopilot here. Do a test on the lights. Whenever you turn off the autopilot, the rudder boost will turn off. So you gotta clear out all those warnings and start over. And then verify the pitch trim still works, which it does. Flaps set for takeoff. Just right here. We do coffee maker and furnace comes on. Check all the E-lights. And you let go. Just the normal ones are on. So now we need to slave both gyros, pilot and first officer. So you click mode one time on both sides. It slaves the gyros. And now we'll get weather for Idaho Falls 135.32.
Idaho Falls Region Information Yankee. 1700 Zulu weather. Wind 350 at 7. Visibility 2. Snow. Sky conditions 900 overcast. 32,500 broken. Temperature -9. Dew point -13. Altimeter 3006. Arriving runways 02, 35. Departing runways 2017.
Alright, let me monitor guard on COM 2. when I'm not listening to ATIS or AWAS. And CTAF for Idaho Falls, tower's 18.5. To get a clearance, we need to dial in 122.2, which is essentially using it as like a telephone. So that frequency won't work if you're moving more than 13, it's either 30 miles an hour or 13, I can't remember. Probably 30. Like it will get garbled the faster you go. Eventually you won't be able to hear anything. But if you're sitting still, it's crystal clear like a telephone. And we'll set our altimeter 3006 on both sides. And so clearance, I've already filed the flight plan. Let me make sure I'm on the map here. I can also cheat to see if he's changed my flight plan, which he hasn't, or at least he hasn't, if he hasn't looked at it yet. Afternoon, Salt Lake Center, King Air 1399er on the ground at Idaho Falls with weather. IFR, Salt Lake City.
King Air 1399er, Salt Lake City Center is cleared to Salt Lake City Airport as filed. Climb and maintain flight level 240. Departure with center on 133.25, squawk 2753. Hold for release.
Cleared to Salt Lake City as filed. Climb, maintain flight level 250. Departure 133.25, squawk 2753, and hold for release 1399.
King Air 1399er, read back is correct. How long do you need?
About 15 minutes, 1399.
Roger, just stay on correction. Contact me when you're short of the runway. First in line and ready to go.
Will do, 1399. Alright, so I've got what I filed.
5 Zulu Tango, contact Los Angeles.
I'm going to lower the sounds
135.5. We'll see you.
because the engines are really loud with this. I'll go back to CTAF and we'll do the flight plan. So we're going to go to IDA and then we're going to pick up an airway, I think, right? So Victor 21. Load airway. Victor 21, that's going to take us to PIH. Pocatello. So we'll load that. And then we're going to go from there to Salt Lake City. And then from there, we're going to load a procedure and arrival. The Bears 5 from Pocatello, whatever, for runway 17. So we'll load the arrival. And then we'll double check the AV tab. Salt Lake City. Arrival, Bear 5. PIH to Mallard City, Teals, Bear, landing south, expect ILS 16 left, I'm going to request 17. It's a GA side. Cross Bear at 11,000, that's already hard set. Actually, I won't hard set it yet. So, and then Ogden VOR. Fairfield. That's Ogden. So we go from Bear to Ogden, and then we'll pick up a full approach on ILS. Full approach from Ogden, so there won't be any vectoring. All right, so I'll worry about that approach when we're in the air. So go to map. I think what I'll do is flight plan, menu, store. Okay. All right. Transponder gave me a squawk of 2753. And we're clear to our cruise at 250. Heading is armed, altitude is armed. And let me see. I worry about that in the air. Check our ignition here real quick. Turn on those. Give some power. The ignition should extinguish, which it did. Turn them back off. Turn on windshield heats on low. Prop de-ice, it's in the green, so we're good there. Turn it off, it goes back to 0. Do a surface de-ice test. So we do full conditioner lever. And let's go over here first. So temperature is 70 degrees. So we'll go ahead and turn off the electric heater. Just needed that to get things warmed up. And then surface de-ice, we're going to hold for 7 seconds or so. We get the wing boot and then the tail boot. It's just a one-time de-icing. This boot fills up with air and pops the ice off the leading edge. That's all that does. Do a ground idle test. So we can lower these to low idle. And then the ground idle test. So we mash that button, bring the RPM up to 1500. Let go of the button and it should go back to idle on its own. Without moving the throttle. Alright, they're coming down on their own, so that worked. Now we do an auto feather test. Hold down the test button, same thing, 1500, look for AFX lights to show up. And we're going to feather the left prop. And then wait for the engine to stabilize, we'll feather the right. Feathering the right. And that's a good test. So we'll arm the auto feather, arm prop sync. We are at 4,700. I think that matches Idaho Falls. That's 4743. So that's 4743. That's right on the money. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4,200 for the test. 4,200. And then I'll do the test, and it should show 1,000-foot descent on the test. 1,000 foot, good test. And we're cleared to flight level 250, so we're going to go up to 260 at 500 feet per minute. We'll climb. I always go 1,000 feet above the intended cruise. And then I need to worry about the ground. So The altimeter at Salt Lake City is 3015. So we'll err on this. I guess you round up. I don't know. Do you round up or round down? Anyway, closer. Well, I'm going to go with 3020. So we'll say 200. And elevation at Salt Lake is 4227. So that would be 42, 43, 44, 4420. 4,420 will be the, is that higher than where we're at? No. So we'll lower this to 4,420 when we start our descent. Otherwise, pressurization is set. Do an EFIS test here. All right. Bring on the taxi light, Rico light. Pitot heat, stall warning. Get our weather.
Information Yankee. 1800 Zulu weather. Wind 350 at 7.
3006. Wind 350 at 7.
Conditions 900.
So that's fine. And then I need to change the nav data here to wind. I prefer that. So it gives you a wind direction. And then autopilot I want on VOR. Since I'm going to use the Idaho Falls VOR for inbound on that procedure. It's 113.85. 1385. And then that course inbound will be 02019. So that'd be inbound. Like I said, we're not going to use it, but I'll just put in there for right now. All right. So I'll put the prop in beta mode. Go ahead and we'll squawk altitude. Hit the lights, make sure they all stay out except for the normal ones. Idaho Falls traffic, King Air 139, taxiing to runway 3 on Alpha, Idaho Falls traffic. Alright, I think we're still within our 15 minutes. Guess we'll find out. Alright, do we have control? Yep, we got controls, we're trimmed. Good on gas. Temperatures 14 Fahrenheit. It's not really raining hard enough for that. Or snowing, actually. So this is basically like a left turn, so I'm going to cross over the Idaho Falls VOR at 7,000, then proceed on course, because the MEA for this airway is 7,000, so we'll just continue to climb on that airway to 250. And we'll call back the ATC guy when we are holding short number 1, since we have a IFR hold placed on this airport. So that means 1 in, 1 out. Hey Gizmo, how you doing this afternoon, partner? I loaded in all of Utah as winter textures. In Salt Lake City, I used the SAM library seasons, and I changed it to deep winter. So theoretically, we should have a winter wonderland when we arrive into Salt Lake City. It's like the snow stopped here, but it's probably still snowing in Salt Lake. At least it was earlier. Nope. It's not snowing anymore. It's still overcast at 700 feet. So we'll definitely be doing an ILS. No, 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 not snow. Yeah, I know, right? Try to use the snow textures during the winter because it's kind of silly to do it during the summertime. So I get in all my winter flying now. Now the runway is wrong. It's actually 2-1, but I need to go into WED and correct the runway numbers. So I'm going to go back to Salt Lake, get him on the telephone, at least the, sounds like a telephone, or it's simulating a telephone. This is runway 3? Yeah, it's 3. All right. Salt Lake Center, King Air 1399er. Current with weather. Well, number 1, runway 3, using the runway 3 ODP 1399.
November 139er, Salt Lake Center, released for departure. Time now 19290 Zulu. Clearance void if not off by 1937. If not off by 1937, call back with your intention to the 1940. Frequency change approved.
If not off by 1940, I'll advise this channel. Frequency change approved, 1399. Alright, so he released my hold. So that means we can take off. He's still, so we're going to go to CTAF. We're going to let anyone know that's in the pattern what we're going to do. And then I'm going to have departure on standby 13325. That's going to be Salt Lake, but in the air. Idaho Falls traffic, King Air 139, taking off runway 3 for left downwind departure, Idaho Falls. Alright, so we're going to do these things on. Engine anti-ice comes off. Landing lights. Strobe lights. Check. Alright. Clear left. Looks like we're good. You hate snow? I wouldn't want to live where there's snow. I lived in Pennsylvania. I grew up in Pennsylvania. I live in Florida. I lived in Florida for like more than half my life at this point. So I like looking at it, but I don't miss it. I don't miss having to shovel the snow, and it's just... What a nice one, this plane. Yeah, I love this plane. It's my second favorite plane. Only second to the Flight Vector Airbus. Alright, let's go. Alright. Taking out a beta helps.
Auto feather lights on. Airspeed alive. 60 knots. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Attitudes check. Gear indicates up.
Flaps up.
Flaps indicates up.
Alright. So we're basically going to cross right over the airport above 7,000. I knew this plane would do it at 7,000, so then we'll just turn on course. Idaho Falls traffic, King Air 139, passing over the airport at 7,000. Southbound, last call, Idaho Falls. Alright, so now we're going to get my heading bug set. Autopilot on. Gears up, flaps are up. We're going to go to climb mode. I'm going to switch to departure. Salt Lake Center, King Air 1399er. On course, passing through 8,800 for flight level 250. He's going to tell me to ident.
Salt Lake City, center radar contact 3 miles south, Idaho Falls, VOR altitude checks, climb and maintain flight level 240.
Climb, maintain flight level 240, 1399. I said that wrong. I mean, I put it in wrong. I did file 240. All right, so let's reduce the prop. Turn off the ignition. Auto feather can come off. Yaw damper is on. There's no icing going on, but I'll keep an eye out on that. We'll add in a little bit of torque on the climb. So I want to go to share. And then we're going to go FMC, nav. Now we're on course. Turn off the landing lights, taxi lights, Rico lights. And I need to lower the sound a little bit more. That is so loud. Turn up the ATC.
Southwest 105, contact NorCal approach.
Gizmo says, I was growing in the, you grew up in the mountains. I had 20 years of snow. Nothing but snow and bad weather. Yeah, buddy, I agree with you. Like, I was talking to my wife about that just the other day, actually, that I wouldn't even want to visit anymore because black ice, like I get hurt, walking as it is.
Southwest 105 and NorCal approach, roger. Fly present heading vectors, the ILS runway 28 left approach, descend and maintain 7,000. Thank you.
All right, gears up. Everything's in the green, looking good. Guess we're high enough we can turn off the seat belts. Probably still running off auxiliary. This airplane will drain all your auxiliary fuel first, and then it goes to your main fuel. So my trip fuel is the main tank, and I always put 100 gallons in auxiliary just for my ground operations and stuff. Cabin pressure is climbing.
Southwest 105, turn left heading 100.
It's close enough to 18,000, so we'll spin this back to standard 2992, which is sea level. to keep an eye on icing this entire trip. This plane does simulate icing, but all these anti-icing stuff works pretty well too.
105, turn left heading 010, descend to maintain 5,000. Number 9 Juliet, contact Seattle Center 121.4.
Seattle Center 121.4, 90 Juliet. Seattle Center, TBM.
Probably gonna ask for 17.
16,500.
I can do it right from the Ogden VOR, so
909 Juliet, Seattle Center, Alturas, altimeter 3031.
I'll come down here.
3031, and I'm gonna go ahead and head
We'll expect
to Golf Papa
11,000
over there in
at Ogden
I believe that's Montana, possibly. The weather's just not going to
for landing south.
area by the time I get there, so I want to go ahead and change my course.
Roger.
And then, so from Ogden it'll be a full approach. So we'll pick up the ILS, which is an initial approach fix, IAF, from the Ogden VOR. So that way it relieves the ATC controller from having to give you any vectors. You just say full approach from Ogden VOR and follow this procedure. And then you'll intercept the localizer and go on down. So that's the plan ahead of us. Guess I should probably turn on some anti-icing because okay. Yeah, I know the ITT is above the red. They don't have it modeled to where that would blow it up, so I only do that on the climb out. If it would blow it up, obviously I wouldn't do it, but they don't model that part. Supposedly there's all these updates in the works, but you know how these developers are. Man, this is a crazy crosswind. 83 knot crosswind. That's why I'm flying sideways, because the next waypoint is over here. I mean, that's pretty good. Look at it. I'm flying straight this way. Alright, now I'm at cruise, so I'm going to go ahead and back down the ITT just a smidgen. Just under the red. That's usually good enough. Lower the conditioner levers to low idle for cruise. In most cases, they tell you to be low idle for all phases of flight with this airplane if you want to be exact from takeoff to landings, everything. But it gives you more power with a high idle, so I want the power on climb out and I want it for takeoff and landings. But I do know that from several real King Air pilots, seeing other streamers have said that in the real world they fly at low idle. But there's a significant difference in power when you go to flare. If I were to try to flare with this thing at low idle, and if I were to bring back the throttles to idle, I'll just fall out of the sky.
Salt Lake Center, Skyhawk 1.
But if I leave it at high idle and go to flight idle on the throttle, then it's just a nice cushion. It soaks right there, sets right in.
Number 5115 Bravo, Salt Lake Center, Roger Lewis, and altimeter 2971. Let me know when you have the weather and if you have a crust.
Can I get that barometer again?
That was 105, contact San Francisco Tower 120.5. November 15 Bravo, Lewis, and altimeter 2971.
Thank you. 15 Bravo.
Ground elevation is 4227. Where's the ground? It should be on here. I'm so used to looking at the other charts.
San Francisco Tower, runway 28 left, clear to land, wind, calm.
DAS back on audio, left stream running but had headphones out. Oh, left stream running but had, oh okay. Seems I missed a takeoff. Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube after I'm done, so you'll be able to watch the takeoff again. I'm just trying to find where they have the altitude. That's the missed approach. I'll be looking at that later. Oh, here we go. 4227. And the altimeter is 3015. So plus 200. So 4427 is what we'll set the elevation for. And now we can get our landing stuff set up. So we're probably going to be closer to 13,000. The altitude 42. 27. Altimeter's 3015. Temperatures -4. The wind speed is 8 knots. Wind heading 160. Runway length 95, 97. .169. And we'll set the markers. Required field length 3,600, so we have like way more than enough runway.
Scenery, that taxiway is old taxiway. Juliet's been closed for about 2 years now as it was confused.
90.
Could have been confused with the runway 1 left. Continue straight ahead to join Alpha into the ramp. Stay on my frequency.
Should be runway. I'm so used to looking at the other type of charts. I'm trying to learn this because you guys can see these without me changing sources. It's like 9,000.
Check with the developer with the NorCal scenery to see if they have an update for San Francisco. Again, it's been more than 2 years since that taxiway's been closed. You bet. Yeah, just look at the airport diagram as well. You'll see that it's no longer there.
Come on, where's the runway information? And I looked it up already on the SkyVector charts. That's what I'm used to looking at. These things they're very good. I do like these. I'm just trying to learn where everything is. I know it's 9,000 something. I'm trying to look for a 9. Does Jepson charts not put the runway length, LDA, the landing distance available? Maybe it's I don't see it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So on the regular sky vector charts, you have runway landing, which is LDA 95, 97, so like 17. LDA is 95, 97, which is why it's written here, but I'm not sure where that is on the on this Jepson chart. Like I know the sky vector chart's really like back of my hand now. Oh well, maybe they just don't put them on these charts. So let's figure out. All right, so I'm going to need to close that for now, and the ILS is 1115. So I have that set with a course of 169. So we could bug up the heading bug there and switch to heading. And then 169. All right, so ILS is set. So now we'll go back to FMC, and we'll go back to nav. And now we're back on our flight plan.
Okay, you're 139er, Salt Lake City is landing south, the altimeter 3015, cross Bear at and maintain 15,000.
Salt Lake City landing south, 3011, cross Bear at and maintain 15,000, 1399. Okay. MLD, Bear, let's go. $15,000. Save. Put this to 1500. Bottom of descent, we're going to start descending now. So, what's that, 15,000? So I'll pull out the power. And I'm not saying I'm leaving 240 unless Marcus corrects me here in a few minutes. Just because I didn't wait to descend. And then we need to come down here and set the cabin altitude for landing, which is 4420. And right about there. That will start the cabin descent. Leaving the anti-icing on because it's just so much moisture around here. Okay. So I'll turn the seatbelts on. Usually I give these guys tables, but I forgot. But I just want to show you that these things have tables. And the you can move around the cabin by using these, which is really cool. And I need to program in the full approach. So let's get ATIS. What is that? 124.75. 24.75.
Information Victor.
Current with Victor.
Salt Lake City International Airport. ATIS Information Victor. 1854 Zulu. Wind 150 at 8. Visibility 10. Ceiling 4,200 broken. 5,000 broken. 7,000 overcast. Temperature -4. Dew point -10. Altimeter 3015. Arriving and departing runways 14, 16 left, 16 right, 17. Visual approaches in use. Simultaneous approaches to parallel runways in use. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery, advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assigns and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information, Victor. Salt Lake City.
Alright, we've got the approach loaded. Can't see squat. Don't even think these would help. No, not really. Cleared it up. I think that was just happenstance. Alright, 30, 15. Bought this new gaming mouse. It's really awesome. It's weird. I'm having to get used to it. Has a thumb cut out for it.
139er, contact Salt Lake approach on 135.5.
Salt Lake approach 135.5, 1399. 35.5. That was a quick spin to the left, spin to the left. Salt Lake approach, King Air 1399er, Bear 5, 17,200 for 15,000. Current with Victor, request ILS 17 from the Ogden VOR.
November 139er, Salt Lake approach, thanks for Victor, altimeter 3015, and expect that after Bear descend to maintain 12,000.
I can expect that, and after Bear descend, maintain 12,000, 1399. Alright, so after Bear, which is in 7 miles, we'll go down to 12,000. .3 is tower for runway 17, because each runway has like different frequencies. So we're doing 17, which is 18.3. If you're going to land on say 17. Oh, that's 18.3. So maybe it's 16 right. Let's see what that one is. Yeah, so that's a totally different frequency. So now we're making our left turn to the Ogden VOR. We can descend to 12,000 at this point. So we'll do descent. We'll come over here and
November 139er, contact Salt Lake approach 125.7.
Salt Lake approach 125.7, 1399. 125.7. Salt Lake approach, King Air 1399, 14,000 for 12,000.
November 139er, Salt Lake approach, roger, altimeter 3014, cross the Ogden VOR at or above 12,000, clear the ILS runway 17 approach.
3014, cross Ogden at or above 12,000, cleared ILS 17 approach, 1399er.
Number 9 Julie, go ahead.
Alright, so missed approach is
Number 9 Julie, roger.
climb to 5,800, then climbing left turn to 10,000. So if I go missed straight out 5,800, then we're gonna go left turn to 10,000 to FFU BOR FFU. It's gonna be already on there. Okay. I have to cross Ogden at 12,000 and we'll descend. After that we'll descend to the IF is intermediate fix IVOC 9,000, so we'll go down to 9,000 after Ogden. 9,000 after Ogden, and I'll do some landing lights, Rico lights. Some icing going on, so I'm gonna bust off the ice real quick. Do a manual. Goes the wing and the tail. Alright, we're gonna sit on tower of 18.3. So say left turn would be like 09 or 0. So I'll just get the heading set to remind me to go left at 5,800. Our minimums for this is 200 radar, which means I need to set that. So decision set, which is right here. So that goes to 200. That's our minimums for this approach. The ground is 4,200, so yeah, 4,000, okay. Might as well use them. All right, after Ogden, it's Udizu at 11,000, 9,000. Okay. Good on gas. So the weight's correct. Temperature still the same. Wind speed still the same. Wind heading is 190. All that's the same. So
vertical track.
Yep. Should do 9,000. Actually, I'm going to set this for 164. So we passed Ogden. That's the only reason I started descending. Because this last instruction, I was cleared the approach, but I had to pass Ogden at 1,2000, and then I have to go by the other published altitude restraints. But I think the other one is 11,000 at. It's 1 and 4 miles from now, so we'll stop at 10,000 to be safe, just because of the terrain around here. I'll do ignition,
15 Bravo, did you ever get the weather for
auto
Lewiston?
feather on. I guess those are done.
15 Bravo, roger, you'll probably want to do that, and then again, let me know if you have any approach requests for now. Expect a visual approach.
Making our right turn, so I'm going to go to heading mode and VOR, or ILS, I mean. So we're going to arm a nav. And we're going to arm approach. And I need to give throttle.
Flaps up.
I'm going to blow off this snow again, or the ice rather. It's wing, tail. Established minimums. Minimums are 4420, 200 radar. Missed approach 10,000. Good. Landing gear coming down. Conditioner levers almost max. prop full flaps. So at 3 DME, I am 1 mile away at 3 DME here.
November 139er contact Salt Lake Tower on 118.3.
Salt Lake Tower 118.3, 1399. Salt Lake Tower, King Air 1399er, establishing a localizer 17.
Number 139er, Salt Lake City Tower, wind 180 at 8, runway 17, cleared to land.
17, clear to land, 1399er. So if I go mist, climb to 6,000 and then we'll go left. White. Yeah. And plus it's really cloudy, so everything's white. Not even a blue sky to look at. We hadn't had blue sky the entire trip. Talking about washed out, huh? At least I know the SAM seasons is working. Got it enabled. Minimum's 4420, so we still got 2,000 feet to go. Ground control for east side is 21.9er. There comes the snow. I can hear a jet. Must be a jet landing or something.
November 15 Bravo, the airport's about 12 o'clock and less than 10 miles, report when Hamilton.
I've got the airport. Plenty of time. Don't have to worry about minimums.
1,000 feet to minimums.
You got super snow. Super snow.
November 15 Bravo, roger.
So I'm going to ask for Atlantic, which is by, looks like Kilo 4. So we'll try to exit at Kilo 4 at Atlantic, which should be straight in.
500 feet to minimums.
Autopilot off.
November 15
My
Bravo,
plane.
altitude.
Feet to minimums. 100 feet to minimums.
Cabin has depressurized, okay. That would be painful because I think the pressure dumps as soon as the wheels touch the ground.
Minimums.
And that's why you set it.
Feet. 50 feet.
15 Bravo unable due to minimum en route altitudes.
I'm going for a greaser.
Pumps full.
Probably missed my turn off, but that's okay. And we're slowing down. Oh no, K4 is right here. Full reverse, full reverse. It's Kilo 4 right here.
40 knots.
Number 139er left when you're able, taxi to the ramp via Kilo, monitor ground point 9er.
Left when able, Kilo to the ramp, monitor ground point 9er, 1399. We'll see ya. Whole flight I did well except for the turning off the runway. Alright. Turn that down. Just turn off landing lights. Strobe lights. Flaps coming up. Engine ice. Yeah, it's already on. Turn off the auto ignition and auto feather.
Sky 15 Bravo, cross the Lewiston VOR at 8,000, cleared VOR, runway 8 approach, and report established following the procedure turn.
Salt Lake Jet Center. We're not really a jet, but I wonder where Atlantic is. I need to look.
November 15 Bravo, cross Lewiston at 8,000, cleared the VOR, runway 8 approach.
Yeah, well, park here. Taxi light off, Rico light off.
And November 15 Bravo, you're a bit off course on the airway. Where are you headed
Seatbelts off.
now? Alright, you should be on Victor 611 until you get to the VOR.
Let's turn the environment off. It's holding at 70 degrees, so we'll do off, off. All that's off. Do avionics off. EPA switch is off. Now we do fuel cutoff. We come over here, shut down the batteries.
Disconnected.
Disconnect from PilotEdge. And we got 132 fuel left. It's about right on. Let's tie that up. Actually, no. Oh yeah, that's fine. Let's come over here. Oh, thanks for the bits, Noel. Much appreciated. How are you doing this afternoon? I know you love these snowflakes. Noel loves these snowflakes. I thought Atlantic. Let's see. No. Maybe it's back there. I mean, I like where I parked. So that's the Jet Center, and then there's a Salt Lake Jet Center, Executive Terminal. Oh, see, that's where I should have gone. TAC Air. Yeah, I have to write that down. We want to go to... Although that one's kind of central located if I land going the other way. But there's two different FBOs here. All right, let's see if we can do a rerun. Offline, toggle replay. What the hell happened? Okay. I think I went cold and dark and it messed it up. Yeah. If I would have left the airplane without, I clicked cold and dark and I messed up the replay, I think. This airplane's very, very sensitive. Yeah. See, things are still spinning out of control. It's a very touchy airplane. Oh, you shared rewards with 3 others? Nice. Thank you. That's great. All right. I am going to take a break. This is Wednesday. So I'm going to stream again this evening. I'm either going to fly my Airbus or my Boeing 767 in and around Washington, New York, Boston area. I'm not sure where, but I'm going to stream it and see how things go. So if anyone's interested in some VATSIM airlining stuff, VATSIM will have Washington, D.C. will be towered this evening. So I'll be doing that later on. That's a screenshot with the snow. Look at that. Screenshot. All right, guys. Das, Gizmo, thanks for joining me. Thanks for the convos. And it was a good flight. Everything went as planned, which can sometimes be boring, but it still went as planned. So we'll catch y'all later. If not this evening, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all stay safe. Catch y'all soon. Chase out. Thanks again, Noel.
Sky 4299, no more layers have been reported, just haze in the valley. If you do reach any even a scattered layer, will you let me know, please?
What is Skies 4299?
Spot is 515, Roman Papa, contact approach on 124.9er.
1632.
459. Proceed direct to the Ogden VOR, Department VOR, heading 210, vector to the ILS, and advise with Ogden fuel. Level 3 uniform, Sierra, traffic north, mile and a half, southbound. Might be in the pattern. It's Spanish full 5,500 indicated.
Approach Delta 1042, 1,210 knots.
Okay, 60, turn right heading 070, still maintain 6,000. Sky 4299, climb maintain flight level 230, normal speed, and clear direct to Seagull, waypoint, resume on navigation.
Alright, climb 230, normal speed, direct Seagull, Skies 4299.
Delta 1042, still maintain 8,000 and reduce speed to 190.
Alright, down to 8,000 and 190, Delta 1042. Confirm that's 8,000 for Delta 1042.
Delta 1042 is only 8,000. Sky 6250, turn right heading 140, going to 16 right, low crossing.
Heading 140 to yonder 16 right, localizer, actually 6250.
W1632, turn right heading 070.
Right turn 070, W1632.
Sky 6250, 4 miles north of bunker, maintain 6,000 till caption oil guards, clear ILS, runway 16 right approach.
6,000 until 5 on the localizer, 3 for the ILS 16 right approach, Maxal 6250.
W1632 is going to maintain 6,000.
6,000, W1632.
51 meter past, it's going to maintain 1 dial. 51 250, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17,